member of the boy band One Direction has died after falling from the third floor of a hotel in Buenos Aires.
We saw Liam fall. Being able to see it happen and then hear the impact on the ground, which was more haunting than seeing him fall.
Roger Norris, he was Liam's good friend who accompanied him to Buenos Aires. He is in the crosshairs of prosecutors now over alleged abandonment of Liam.
I went to the hotel 3 times to check on him. During that morning, he seemed tipsy, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Tu uso drogas? Did you use drugs with Liam the first night you met him?
Yeah, there was.
¿Qué drogas? What drugs did you use?
No, yeah, cocaína.
There was cocaine.
Are the people they're going after, the way you see it, perpetrators or scapegoats?
It sounds kind of like both in some respect.
Everyone sees me in a bad way. They see me as the murderer, so to speak. And I'm not. I'm also the victim. They want to take me for a ride, they would say here in Argentina.
Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it hasn't gotten easier.
I haven't said goodbye to Liam yet, but I will, eventually.
We just broke a story that is going to be very upsetting for millions and millions of One Direction fans. Liam Payne has died at the age of 31.
Officials say the British musician fell from the balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Evidence suggests the singer was going through a substance abuse episode and may have been semi or totally unconscious when he fell from a third-floor hotel balcony.
Overnight, crowds gathering outside the hotel, singing his songs in mourning.
Authorities say Payne had traces of alcohol, cocaine, and antidepressants in his system when he died.
One person has now been charged with abandoning Payne after his death. Another person was a hotel employee who allegedly provided cocaine to Payne. Authorities say the third is a drug dealer.
A horse-drawn carriage topped with white roses accompanied Liam Payne into his funeral yesterday, where all the remaining members of One Direction were there to say a final goodbye.
There was raw emotion as Simon Cowell, who created One Direction, wept on the shoulder of Liam's father.
I'm Brett Watson, and I was a guest at the Casa Sur Hotel Palermo and was there the day that Liam passed away. We were down there for our wedding to get married, and a lot of our wedding party was staying at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel with us. Numerous guests of ours had interacted with him or had seen him throughout the day. He was very pleasant, and they were able to take pictures with them.
I'm Roger Norris, and I'm a very good friend of Liam's, and I was with him the day that he passed away. He was in good spirits. He was like talking to 10 or 15 Americans that were here for a wedding. So he was talking to them, and he was joking around.
As the morning became the afternoon, that's when some of the people started to notice that his behavior was a little bit off. He was saying some things that made a few of our guests uncomfortable, and they said that he did start to show signs of intoxication throughout the day. One of our wedding guests did have a meaningful conversation with him. He told her that the reason he was so up was because he was in a boy band, and just saying these things that it didn't really make sense or fit the context of the conversation.
I left like at 4:05 or so, and he was in good spirits. He was perfectly balanced, like talking to everybody, having fun, laughing, so nothing out of the ordinary. And that's when I said, okay, bye.
So you left him about an hour before he fell off that balcony, and you say he seemed fine.
Yeah, well, he seemed playful and happy.
Well, that's Roger Norris's account, but it's wildly different from what others say they observed.
Our guests witnessed Liam laying on the sofa in the lobby. This is probably right around 4:30 p.m. And as he was there, he was just lying pretty docile on the sofa or the couch in the lobby wasn't necessarily coherent. He definitely looked like he was under the influences, according to our guests, but at this point, he hadn't really become aggressive or hostile at this point. Apparently, something came in on his computer, and they describe it as something, and Liam just kind of flipped. He went from laying down pretty sedentary to just stood up really agitated, and that's the point where he slammed his laptop on the ground and said something along the lines of this. And then I just saw all the guests kind of shook in shock of what had just happened. He was conscious at this point, and they had said that the hotel was trying to prevent him from coming back down to the lobby because according to them, and what they had sort of heard the hotel say is that Liam had been trying to, come back down to the lobby multiple times after being sent up, and they were trying to, prevent him from coming down to the lobby and what I assume causing additional scenes. About 15 to 20 minutes later, after Liam had been brought back up, we saw Liam come back down into the lobby. Eventually, he got to the point where he either tripped or he passed out and ended up falling over one of the end tables in the lobby. And this is when he started twitching on the ground. From what I could see, it looked like he was going in and out of consciousness, not very lucid at all. At this point, the hotel staff had rushed over to him. Looked like he was overdosing on something. We did see the group of people around Liam getting him into the elevator. And this all happened about 10 minutes before he ultimately fell.
Mi nombre es Daniel Salinas.
My name is Daniel Salinas. I'm the therapist masseuse in Buenos Aires that came out in the picture with Liam Payne.
Lo que hicimos cargar. Después vino una chica.
Well, we picked him up and a blonde girl employee told us to take him to the room. It looks like he was having a psychotic episode.
Estaba como convulsionando.
He was convulsing, foam out of his mouth.
El momento cuando se paró fue que ellos lo invitaron.
There was a moment when he stood up. They took him through the hallway. He was trying to go somewhere else, but they were guiding him. I didn't go into his room, but I saw it was a mess.
What is the last image that you have of him in your mind?
Que él estaba,
he was lost. He was standing, stepping on glass. That was the last image that stayed with me.
I was meeting our wedding planner. We had gone up to the room. We happened to be looking out of the window of our hotel at the pool and area just to show her the view from the hotel, and we saw Liam fall.
So he had gone from the third floor where he fell and came down and then past your room on the first floor and then fell to his death.
Yes. And so we immediately rushed out on the balcony to see what it was, and when we looked down, you could see that it was Liam laying on the ground. He landed face up, so we could tell right away that it was Liam, and he was motionless.
It seemed that he died on impact.
I don't have a medical background, but from what I saw, it looked like he passed away immediately on impact. So time really, after we saw this, time sort of stopped or really slowed down immediately. Afterwards, the wedding planner and myself just looked at each other just to see, like, oh my God, this is real. This actually happened.
Brett, I gotta say, as I listen to you, I can hear emotion in your voice. That must have been gut-wrenching for you to see.
Yeah. It's one, it's just seeing anyone fall like that is heartbreaking, but being able to see it happen and then hear the impact on the ground, which is more haunting than seeing him fall, and then seeing the immediate aftermath. It's something that is being burned into my brain and something I'm never gonna forget, and still working through, just trying to process and understand everything that we saw.
God, I am so sorry. And this was on your wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
¿Tú uso drogas? Did you use drugs with Liam the first night you met him?
Yeah, there was.
¿Qué drogas? What drugs did you use?
No,
There was cocaine.
Was it cocaine the first night or the second night?
The second night, too.
2 escorts show up to Liam's room. They say they had sex with him, but when they asked for their payment, $5,000, Liam didn't have the cash, and he became enraged, punching the TV 3 times and destroying his Rolex.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
We're only allowed to eat the broken ones. Grandpa?
Oops.
Rocks. Make moments sweeter.
I am my fire, my light.
Online will give you a free pizza to use for a future pizza emergency. So you'll have an emergency pizza. A free pizza when you need it most.
There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Enjoy.
Amazon last-minute deals are here. Save on toys, electronics, and more. Shop last-minute deals now on Amazon.
I'm gonna go hang out with my good buddy Roger, who's really been helping me through some tough times.
Roger Norris. He was Liam's good friend who accompanied him to Buenos Aires. He is in the crosshairs of prosecutors now over alleged abandonment of Liam. Liam's dad, according to the documents we've seen, claims that Roger was in charge of the care of Liam, knowing that Liam was in the throes of addiction. Roger, how did you come to know Liam?
We met through friends in London 4 years ago, around 2020. And we were opposites. I'm like a boring person who doesn't drink, do drugs, I don't smoke, never tried a drug in my life. And he was the opposite, but we were still friends. When he came in Argentina, he was like fully sober for like 12 days or so. And he was in a good place and getting better.
Prosecutors say Liam was crazed when he got to the hotel Sunday night, just 3 days before his death. They say he went out looking for drugs and found them with the help of a waiter named Brian Noel Pais. That's Brian entering the hotel with Liam. Prosecutors are going after Brian for supplying narcotics to Liam.
Mi nombre es Brian.
My name is Brian. I'm 24 years old, and I met Liam at my restaurant.
Que ellos dicen que
They say I'm the dealer, that I carried drugs, that I sold them, and the truth is that no, I didn't sell them.
TMZ has seen text exchanges from official documents which make it very clear that Brian brought 3 grams of cocaine to Liam's hotel. Brian even sent photos of the white powder, according to prosecutors.
¿Tú
¿Tú uso drogas?
Did you use drugs with Liam the first night you met him?
Yeah, there was.
¿Qué drogas? What drugs did you use?
No, yeah, cocaína.
There was cocaine. Like, there wasn't even a lot of it. But we had some with the whiskey.
Was it cocaine the first night or the second night?
La segunda noche también.
The second night, too.
La segunda
The second
vez
night.
sí,
Yeah.
estaba la caja de jabón.
The soapbox and some aluminum foil was already there.
Supuestamente
Drugs scattered everywhere.
No, de hecho ni
I
siquiera
didn't even
acepté
accept
plata,
his money.
nada.
Nothing.
Luego me quiso dar
He wanted to give me his Rolex. I didn't accept it. I didn't accept anything. Just a drawing that he drew, which were part of my eyes, nose, mouth. He draws, I draw. I'm studying to do it, so I had drawings.
Fast forward to the day Liam died.
This was a normal day in Liam's life. He would be just doing stuff, and he would like be happy and hyperactive, and he would grab his computer and text people and call people.
Prosecutors say it was anything but a normal day.
We obtained hundreds of documents from authorities, which include dozens of photos and surveillance screen grabs.
These documents outline what Liam was doing in the hours before his fatal fall. 10 p.m. the night before the fall, Liam orders 4 bottles of whiskey. 6:36 a.m. the next morning, he orders 5 more bottles of whiskey. 7:03 a.m., Liam texts Roger, "Dude, I think I'm going to a hooker." 9:32 a.m., Liam texts Roger, "Can you get 6 grams?"
Sometime after 10 a.m., Roger comes to the hotel, has breakfast with Liam, who orders whiskey. While they're at breakfast, the maids come to clean the room and find white powder.
11:30 a.m., 2 escorts show up to Liam's room. They told prosecutors they had sex with him. And when they asked for their payment of $5,000, Liam didn't have the cash.
He became enraged, punching the TV 3 times and destroying his Rolex.
2 p.m., Liam tells a hotel employee, "I'm gonna need another 7 grams for today."
Around 3:30, a hotel employee delivers cocaine to Liam at the hotel.
3:45, Roger comes back to the hotel and pays for the escorts. At 4 o'clock, a hotel employee says Liam is visibly under the influence. 4:04, Roger leaves the hotel. At 4:15, a housekeeper reports she hears Liam smashing things in his room. 4:26, Liam goes down to the lobby with a laptop and a bottle of whiskey.
Sits down, then smashes his laptop and collapses.
4:30, he's escorted back to his room by hotel staffers. 4:50, Liam goes back to the lobby, almost unconscious on the elevator floor when the door opens.
He gets up, sits down in the lobby, then passes out and collapses on the floor. A few minutes later, 3 hotel staffers grab Liam by his arms and legs to take him back to his room. He regains consciousness when he reaches the 3rd floor and is escorted inside. Staffers remain outside the room to make sure he doesn't leave again.
5:01, the hotel's guest relations manager calls 911.
5:07, Liam falls to his death. Roger Norris says, despite accusations of abandonment by authorities, he was a dutiful friend the day Liam died.
I went to the hotel 3 times to check on him. During that morning, he seemed tipsy. but nothing out of the ordinary.
But prosecutors say Roger had a duty to stick around whether Liam wanted it or not, which is why they want him prosecuted for abandonment, as well as allegedly getting drugs for Liam.
TMZ has now obtained just one bit of video, but a very critical piece of video from hotel surveillance.
It was recorded just 3 hours before Liam's death.
It shows him interacting with the hotel staffer who's been implicated in his death, handing him something from the elevator.
Prosecutors are going after that hotel staffer, Ezekiel David Pereira, for allegedly selling Liam cocaine and delivering it to him in this Dove box. They want to charge him with supplying narcotics. We found him in a sketchy area of Buenos Aires, but he was in no mood to talk.
Hi, I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
There's little doubt he was trying to scale down the third-floor balcony to the ground to escape. He put on a hat, strapped his bag to his shoulder, and then took a leather bag and dropped it to the second-floor balcony.
The only reason why he would put his hat on is if he was leaving the hotel. Like, that was him. That's what he would do.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Okay, gift guide. What do we have planned for last-minute shoppers this year?
I've curated a selection of gifts that feel anything but last minute.
Something's happening.
We've got, I know these are your favorite gifts. I instantly thought of you gifts. And, of course, I bought this week's ago gifts.
You think of everything.
It's a gift. This holiday season, let Macy's be your guide to gifting.
So hear the drums drumming, all your friends humming. Yeah, it's a good time coming. Everything you wanted, it's right here, y'all. Everything you needed, it's right here, y'all. We got the tunes bumping, got the kids jumping. Yeah, it's a good time coming.
The $7 Lux Cravings Box has the Gordita Supreme.
And try new Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Liam was clearly under the influence when he fell. The toxicology report shows there was cocaine, alcohol, and an antidepressant in his system. The medical evidence that I've read says that when you combine alcohol and this antidepressant he was on, it can create kind of a magnified effect.
He's agitated, he's intoxicated, he's escalated, and he's making choices that are just poor.
The fatal poor choice was after Liam was taken to the room the final time. There's little doubt he was trying to scale down the third-floor balcony to the ground to escape. He put on a hat, strapped his bag to his shoulder, and then took a leather bag and dropped it to the second-floor balcony. All of this shows Liam thought he could get from the third-floor balcony to the second and then jump to the ground. But he lost his grip and fell to his death.
The only reason why he would put his hat on is if he was leaving the hotel. Like, that was him. That's what he would do.
And there's also this. We have obtained these police photos showing what appears to be fingerprints slipping toward the edge of the railing.
Turns out escaping on balconies was Liam's thing. He had done it before when he felt trapped in a room.
A month and a half before this happened, He was up in Palm Beach with his girlfriend and bodyguard, and he got into a really bad argument with his bodyguard, who is a great guy, a good person, and he was just trying to protect him against one of those like craving episodes. And he told him to stay in the room. And Liam, he used a green garden hose to climb his way down.
He climbed off the balcony.
He didn't appreciate at all people telling him what to do. So the following morning, he fired his bodyguard after that episode, but he was bragging about his ability to climb out of his house.
Liam has said that one of the things that set him on a path of substance abuse was when he was touring with One Direction. He would go all over the world, and everywhere he went, he was a prisoner in the hotel room and couldn't really go out because fans would go crazy when they'd see him.
When we were in the band, the best way to secure us, because of how big it got, was just lock us in our rooms. And of course, what's in the room? Minibar. So at a certain point, I thought, well, I'm going to have a party for one. And that just seemed to carry on throughout many years of my life.
When I did start thinking about it, you know, being isolated in a room everywhere you go, it's almost like the pandemic when people became alcoholics.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And isolation is certainly a risk factor for drinking and using. And if you have the gene for it, then it can take off. And being further isolated and unable to really have any sort of consequence for what they're doing, it's on. He's made sincere attempt at treatment. He was in a 100-day program. He had a chemical dependency counselor and therapist, and they all said the same thing. They actually agreed with him on this, that this was a very fragile young man that really was in way over his head way too early.
In May this year, I was talking to his manager, and he told me that he was going through a lot, and he had like 2 episodes where he had nearly like OD'd, and he had been like checked into a psychiatric institution for 3 days, and he had to be resuscitated. So he was in a really bad place.
In the days before Liam died, something happened with his ex-fiancée. Something that may have triggered him.
Y'all don't even know what happens behind closed doors or in private. Ever since we broke up, he messages me, blow up my phone, mind you, not only from his phone number, it's always from different phone numbers too, so I never know where it's gonna come from. He'll create new iCloud accounts to iMessage me. It's always a damn new iCloud account. I'm like, every time I see one pop up on my phone, I'm like, here we go again. Also, not only me, but he'll blow up my mom's phone. Is that normal behavior to you?
A cease and desist went out to Liam. Again, this was about a week before his death, and many people think that these legal troubles are what was in his mind when he went on this drug-induced bender.
The fact that hotel personnel grabbed him and forcibly took him to the elevator and back to his room is not okay. And that's a tantamount to a kidnapping of sorts.
Are the people they're going after, the way you see it, perpetrators or scapegoats?
It sounds kind of like a both in some respect.
Everyone sees me in a bad way. They see me as the murderer, so to speak, and I'm not. I'm also the victim. They want to take me for a ride, they would say here in Argentina.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just to love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
The Pro Bowl games are back, which means it's time to show up in Orlando.
Get your tickets to see superstars take the games and the flag football finale to the next level. The Pro Bowl games presented by Verizon, February 2nd. Tickets on sale now.
Universal Basic Guys, all new Sundays on Fox.
Dr. Larson has no recollection of the last 8 years.
We were together, Amy and me. She has no memory.
I will do everything I can to get my life back.
Doc, series premiere, January 7th on Fox.
We ready?
I need to get me a new phone.
You need to trade in that old busted up phone. You can get you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro from T-Mobile. It's on them. At T-Mobile, it's better over here. Families save 20% every month. What a deal.
To all you new and existing customers, trade in your busted old phone, and T-Mobile will give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. Plus, families can save 20% when they switch.
T-Mobile is one of none. Go get that.
What he said.
There's news out of Buenos Aires this morning. Prosecutors there are weighing whether to charge 2 additional hotel workers in Liam Payne's death. The hotel manager and the desk receptionist who called 911 on the day Liam died.
It's not inevitable, but boy, is it knee-jerk common for prosecutors to immediately hone in on the drug dealers as far as trying to criminalize someone. Having said that, I'm not unsympathetic to the fact that the hotel bears an enormous amount of responsibility based on the facts we presently have before us.
The fact that hotel personnel grabbed him and forcibly took him to the elevator and back to his room is not okay. And it's a tantamount to a kidnapping of sorts. And the question remains, why that? Why do they want someone who's intoxicated and agitated in their room where they could hurt themselves? It's a very odd thing to do. It's not something you can forcibly handle by throwing them in a room. It doesn't make sense.
They put him in the room. Then, let's say 2 minutes later, they call 911.
Well, we've got a guest who has had too many drugs and alcohol. And well, when he is conscious, he is trashing the entire room, and we need you to send someone, please. He's in a room with a balcony, and well, we're a little afraid that he'll do something that puts his life at risk.
He probably told them, you guys can't look me up. I'm gonna leave through the balcony.
They should not have taken him to his room, and they certainly should not have left him alone, and they absolutely should have gotten him to medical care.
I think a lot of people are going to have big, strong opinions about what should have been done, as in any situation. But if you were that hotel worker in Argentina and you are making a last-minute quick decision of what to do with someone in a dire situation, you're doing your best you can. They brought him up to his room, which probably in that moment seemed like the best thing they could do. I don't know that we should be so quick to pass judgment on people who were likely trying to remove him from the public and get him on his own so he could at least be separated and they could figure out what to do.
I think for anybody out there who is having a problem with mental health or something and that struggle it is, but the best thing is to just go and speak to someone. Because if you go through it by yourself, you're your own soundboard and we're all just as crazy as the next person.
Are the people they're going after, the way you see it, perpetrators or scapegoats?
It sounds kind of like a both in some respect. I don't necessarily think that it's fair to say that these individuals are responsible for his death. However, when you have people that work at the hotel and they're supplying him with illegal drugs like the cocaine, you do start to get into that territory of they should have known better.
What's the difference between a hotel employee bringing cocaine up to the room versus bringing 4 or 5 bottles of whiskey up to the room?
Ultimately, I think alcohol is one of the most dangerous drugs in the world. And the fact that it's legal, for some reason, people view that differently.
Everyone sees me in a bad way. They see me as the murderer, so to speak. and I'm not. I'm also the victim. They want to take me for a ride, they would say here in Argentina.
How do you say pen in Spanish? Lapicera. I feel like you're trying to make me say something rude.
The problem with Liam was he was a free man, and he was extremely smart. His family, even if they had tried, they could have never gone to a judge and start proceedings to incapacitate him. He would have beaten them alive. He would sober up just to win the fight.
There is a lot of blame that's being assigned around all of this. What do you think about, when a friend is with somebody and knows about drug abuse, do they have a responsibility to stop the person from doing drugs?
I would argue it's sort of an ethical responsibility of being a good person. But you actually can't do anything. You're not allowed to take people and bring them to treatment. They have to ask to be brought in.
What about the abandonment? My understanding from Roger's lawyer, the argument is Liam is his own person, makes his own decisions, and doesn't have to listen to anybody.
That's how it feels to me, if I'm being honest. It does feel like a scapegoat. Abandonment is Jafar Reach. If it wasn't his actual job, he wasn't contracted, he wasn't legally required to protect Liam from other people or from himself, Liam's choices cannot be Roger's fault. Ultimately, Liam is responsible for his own choices.
Liam did drugs for a long time. He was a long-term drug addict. He was doing drugs that are not typically associated with acute psychiatric disturbances. They can be, but it wouldn't be a reasonable expectation on the behalf of the friend that something terrible could happen here.
I think they want to grab anybody and close the case quickly. Close the case quickly and give a quick answer to the family and not tell the truth. They don't want to do anything.
There's no question that, celebrities, when they come to